Alright, ATK Road Rex here, presenting you with the Race 2 of the 3x3 Tuner Series. This will be racing the Honda S2000 at Trial Mountain reverse course. And let's get that started. Alright, at the top of the grid is Haji, and then Road Rex, and then Mikey, and then Flack, and then Pedro. List of 5 in this 30-minute race. And we are off. Flack gets another jumping head start like he did in the previous race. He's now moved himself up into second place. We go into turn 1. And looks like Road Rex is back in second. Haji a little squirrely there. Coming out of turn 2, going into turn 3. And Haji has a good solid lead over everybody through those turns. I'd say probably a good second at this point. Oh, a little sideways. Good recovery. Yeah, sideways again. Haji the Drift Master. And a good second in front of Road Rex right here. They've both entered the tunnel. Pretty strong little car. I think it's hitting, let's see how fast we get. It's about 165 miles an hour at the end. Not bad at all. Again, you may ask, why are there non-S2000s in this race? Because you have to be able to purchase them. And again, Flack, being a new member, did not hear the months of announcements about purchasing these cars ahead of time. Oh no, penalty for Road Rex. That is going to push him far back behind Haji at this point. Anyway, so we would much rather race and have fun with people than put any form of strict requirement on it at this point. So, having a good time. We have Mikey here in second place. Let's go back to Flack and see what happened. Or Mikey's in third. Flack, hit the grass a little. That sent him right into the wall. At that speed, it is very hard to recover and get that car to straighten out. I've seen a lot of cars that didn't hit the wall, sometimes even accidentally end up sliding into the pit lane and then having to go through that whole rigmarole. Captain Pedro in 5th place. Racing still in 1st place, followed by Road Rex. Again, that penalty is going to cost him. Mikey now in 3rd. Guess I should call these by their PlayStation names so everybody knows. Sim Racing Scoo. Would have said that might have been slip angle, but that was more like a little bit of a drift there, Haji. Not bad. Yep, there goes. See, the car slows down. If you're not familiar with Gran Turismo and you get penalties, you hit those penalty yellow flag markers that you saw earlier, and they will drop your car down to about 60 miles per hour, and it depends on how many seconds the penalty is. So if you have a half a second, it might not quite drop you down to 60. If you have a full second, you're likely going to be down to 60. If you have over a second, you're going to be down to 60, and you're going to stay there until the penalty is served. So if you got a 4-second penalty, which some people have had for punting cars off tracks in some of the daily races, you're going to get dropped down to 60, and you're going to stay there for about another 3.5 seconds. So that's how that penalty system works. Anyway, back to Our leaders, you can see Road Rex again quite a ways back. Probably a good 4 seconds back. Mikey's probably a good 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds back. I guess I will just keep calling people by their names, so everyone's gonna have to get used to that. Haji coming into turn 3. Road Rex falling behind, and Mikey. Now Road Rex into turn 4. It's debatable on that turn. A lot of people will cut that turn tight and get their cars over the paint line. And I've tried both ways, and it does not work for my lack. Oh no! Haji's got a penalty. Anyway, that turn does not work well for my lack of driving skill. I have a tendency to slide out, but kudos to those who can do it. So you saw the marker tick down, the half-second penalty there. That should give the other two guys at least a little bit of a chance to catch up. Haji is a hard guy to catch. Once he's gone, his racing usually provides us with the fastest lap of each race, which he will likely do so here. Mikey currently has the fastest lap, 1:55.1. Lap 3, watch it. On board now with Haji in position 1. Rex is catching up just a little bit here. About a 2-second gap there, maybe a little less. There's that turn 1 paint I mentioned earlier. This 2000 is a beautiful car. Personally, I'm not a big fan of convertibles, but I do like this one. And there are a few others I like as well, so for all you convertible fans, I don't hate them, I just prefer hardshell. All right, Haji. Still in P1, followed by Road Rex. Little sideways there on Haji. Trial Mountain, if you don't own the Gran Turismo game, Trial Mountain is a tremendous fictional track. Love the amount of turns, straights, the elevation changes, and blind turns and things like that. Just a well done track on many levels. Pit lane is quite long though. I feel like you could go get a coffee and come back before your car actually makes it to the pit crew itself. All right, position 1 and 2 seem to be doing it. There's Flack at P4. Captain Pedro at P5. Of course, Haji's still leading the way. Wonder if Haji's given in a little bit, and I've seen some much faster times out of him. I think he's just playing with Road Rex here, just having a good time. Love a lot of the views in Gran Turismo that you can watch during replays. The one that I miss, that many other games have, is a good helicopter chase cam. And you'll see that this one will posture itself above for a split second, but I would like one that would remain above the car until you change it, and not just be a, say a 100, 200 yard camera, and then it switches to something else, like it's been switching back and forth here between different podium cameras. Again, decent race between these two. Well, again, I think Haji's loosening up here, but it makes it look a little more exciting. Look at that, it's definitely getting closer. Oh, Haji drifting again, a little sideways. Is that going to allow Road Rex to pass? Yes, it is. Haji's going to tuck in P2, catch the slipstream off of Road Rex, and keep up with him. A little bit of drifting again. It's going to cost Haji a little bit of time. Let's check in on our other drivers. Mikey and P3 coming out of the second tunnel, heading toward the S's and the finish line. Rex got another penalty. I think we're just going to stop calling Road Rex, and we're going to call him Penalty Rex. That's a lot of penalties for one event here. We're only on lap 7. Haji getting into Rex's slipstream. Whoops, sorry, my bad camera work here. And there's the pass. Go, Haji, go. Oh, looks like Rex is going to be able to dive in there. Not sure what happened. We have a change of position yet again. Road Rex now leading the way. Slipstreaming, see if we can get a little bit of a turn in there. Looked like Rex was trying to defend the inside line, which can slow you down. So, and sure enough, there goes Hadi. He made it. Rex bungalowed on the curbs. Another change in P1. Looks like Rex goes on the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, he does. Well, I don't know. It kind of looked like Haji gave it to him there. Better than wrecking, I guess. Which is something a lot of people in Gran Turismo could learn. There's always an available time to pass, particularly in a race this long. We are just about halfway through this race. Haji's slipstreaming again. Let's see if he can get past Rex here. Yeah, looks like he will make it. Well, they are drag racing to the end. Haji should be able to make this stick. Yeah, absolutely. Got the good inside line there. Wow, good gap. Rex is going to have to work to pick that one back up. Here comes Mikey through the same tunnel. Flack through the same tunnel. Captain Pedro and P5 going through the main tunnel right now. And back with our leaders. Through the S's down into... That looked like a penalty for Rex right there. It looked like he crossed the line. Penalty King. Penalty Rex. Did it give it to him? I don't see the penalty flag anywhere. There's Flack going into pit lane. Rex does not have a penalty flag. Must have barely stayed in the driving lines there. Good lead by Haji right now. Still pulling away from Rex. Rex is going to go into pit lane with that minuscule amount of fuel. I guess has a good amount of fuel left and is going to stay out with good reason. Let's see where the strategy is going to put everybody. Haji in P1, Mikey now in P2. Pedro coming out of the second tunnel, going into the high-speed S's before the start-finish line. Flack now behind him after coming out of the pit lane. Look at that time. All that time, Rex finally made it to the pit crew. I told you it was long. He's not going to fill up his whole tank. Yep, he's not. It's a little over halfway, maybe 2/3 of a tank, just to finish this race out. And it has about 11 minutes left. Haji flying through tunnel 1. All right, Haji's now going to be entering pit lane. Here comes Mikey on the straightaway. He's also going to be entering pit lane. Notice he swerved in and then backed off because of the solid line there. That would have given him a 3-second pit lane penalty. Can only drive across the dashed lines, not the solid lines, when entering or exiting the pit lane on this game. And that would be a hefty 3 or 4 second penalty. They got 3-second penalty on this, which is a good amount of time. Roadrex in P3. Let's see if he's going to pass these guys in pit lane. P1 for now, but Haji's going to be coming out of the pit lane here soon. And it's far beyond this turn, so yeah, I think Haji's going to come out in front of him. Yep. There he is. The race is back on. Still about the same gap they had before Rex entered his pit lane a lap and a half ago. Flack now in position 3. Mike out of pit lane in position 4. Captain Pedro entering turn 1 in P5. It's still pretty cool about these cars. Again, they're topping out 165 plus miles an hour on this straight going uphill. There's 167, 168 by Haji, 166 by Rex there. And again, a lot of this has to do with the car setup, aerodynamics, and so forth. The engine specs are roughly the same. At least the horsepower is capped out at, I believe, 404 horsepower on these little cars. And they both have a minimum weight limit. I don't have those specs in front of me right now, but even Flack's car can only max out at 404 horsepower with the minimum weight limit. And depending upon what else you do with the car, you might have more torque. And depending on what you do with the aero, you might have more top end speed, but obviously less turn-in ability. And so with all these cars, you're trying to find that happy medium for each track. So we are doing what we can to dial each car for a specific track. You can go to attackmotorsport.isrt.com/tunes, and you'll see a rough starting tune that I've set up for Nürburgring, and I base my car off of that, and then I adjust the car accordingly as much, well, if I have time, I adjust the car accordingly to this track. And again, everybody in these races are allowed to fully adjust their cars as long as they stay under or at the horsepower and horsepower max and weight minimum. As far as anything else, whether they want to do wide body or wide tires or aero kits, if you notice, like Haji's wing is a low or a medium aero kit, Rex's is a high aero kit, and that could also be the difference between top end speed. There's a high aero kit's going to possibly provide a little more downforce in the rear. That looks like a medium aero kit there on Flack's car, but I can't tell just because it doesn't compare with the other two cars directly. But anyway, so you're allowed to make these changes as you see fit and tune it as you see fit, and come out to this race and have fun. And we all get into a voice chat group together and razz each other, sometimes crack jokes, and I like it because we can communicate during the race, which on a standard Gran Turismo event you cannot communicate during a race except by messaging, and some of those are preset messages, but it also keeps down the slamming of each other, which I've seen so much in other games. Everybody's flaming each other in the middle of the event, but since we all know each other here, we just create our own chat group. We talk to each other during the race. It also allows us to give commands or shout outs to each other. Like if someone's going to pass me, I'll let them know that they're clear. so they don't have to worry about their radar and things of that nature. And this helps out. So again, there's Haji pulling those times, those 153s. I was waiting for those. I still wonder if he was holding up or just not warmed up in the first half of that race, but now he's up there because Rex has not been able to do a 153 in this race yet. Not sure what his fast time is, but obviously there's Haji's fast lap time on the left of your screen, 153.589. And I believe he was capable of low 153s and such there. There's Flack with a 154. Mikey with a 155. Captain Pater with a 157. Look at this gap now between position 1 and position 2. Tremendous racing by Haji. He's finally pouring it on. Well, it looks like Flack went back into the pit lane. I couldn't quite tell. Yep, there he goes. Mikey in P4, likely moving up into P3. Captain Pedro in P5. And there is our race leader. Heading out of turn 4, up into the S's and into the tunnel. All right, just a little over 2.5 minutes left. Oh, Haji wrecked. Let's see what happened. Yep, it's happened to us all, I think, on that turn. Just a little too much. Let's see if he can straighten that out before Road Rex gets there. He's back on. Rex takes the lead with a penalty. Oh. Road Rex takes the lead, but has a 1-second penalty, and that is likely going to cost him the win. Again, with roughly about 2 minutes left in this race, I think it's going to be interesting to see where this fight ends up. That 1-second penalty could turn into like a 3 or 4 second or more distance between P2 and P1 at this rate. Let's see where we end up. S's through this big sweep, and we're going to watch it right here. Haji counter steering. Whoops, sorry, I flipped through all the controls. Rex pulled over, let Haji by. Yeah, there's just no contest on that. Minute 10 seconds left in this race. There might be another lap. I think Haji's going to cross the finish line before this race is over. Or we before this lap is over, rather. There goes our new P1. I think Gran Turismo Polyphony, rather, did a very good job of sounds with some of these cars. I don't like them all, but I do like most of them. This one is good. I like the sound of the MR2 that's in this race as well. All right. This is it. This is going to be into the final lap here. Haji's still in P1. Well, I was right. It's about 3 seconds between P1 and P2 because of that penalty. Mikey coming in P3 around turn 1. That was a good growling sound with that MR2. There's that infamous turn again. I think we've had 3 or 4 wrecks there in this event. Same thing. Captain Pedro in P5 coming through the S's. Haji going in the straight with Rex right behind him. Still about a 3-second gap between the two of these, or these two rather. I think it's well done in that tunnel. The graphics were like the pergola effect of the lighting, where you can see through, the beams are letting light through. It's well done. ATK Haji Sim Racing School going for the lead here. It's maybe a little bit of catch up there. No, still about 3 seconds out. So make sure Haji can stick this. There he goes. All right, Haji for the win. Well, there was at least a little bit of catch up. Congratulations, Haji. Haji for the win. Road Rex in position 2. And we have Leadfoot Mikey coming across the finish line in position 3. Congratulations, guys. Good job. Again, this is ATK Road Rex here with ATK Motorsport International Sim Racing Team. You've watched our 3x3 tuner series. That was race 2. Race 3 will be at Nürburgring with the same car. And look forward to see you then. As we always say, attack the track, not each other. And as always, enjoy.